The kitchen feels like a confessional at midnight, rain tapping against the window, the dim light reflecting off half-empty whiskey glasses. Evelyn sits alone, her trembling fingers resting on the divorce papers, ink smudged where tears had fallen earlier. The smell of alcohol mingles with the faint scent of rain-soaked earth outside. Every second stretches into eternity. When Daniel stumbles in, his eyes are shadowed, his jaw tight. The silence between them isn't just awkward, it's suffocating, thick with everything unsaid, everything broken. Evelyn's heart aches, sensing that tonight something irreversible is about to be spoken. He stops at the doorway, shoulders slumped, glass in hand. His voice, low and hoarse, slices through the stillness. You shouldn't have told her. Evelyn blinks, confusion flickering in her eyes. Told who? She whispers, though her heart already pounds with dread. Daniel slams his glass down, whiskey splashing across the table like spilled guilt. My mother. About the accident. About us. The word hangs in the air like a curse. The accident, the one that nearly destroyed them both, has been their unspoken ghost, haunting every meal, every quiet night, every breath. Evelyn rises, fear and disbelief warring inside her. Daniel's face twists, part grief, part anger, as if he's been carrying the weight of a secret too heavy to bear. His voice cracks when he speaks again, reaching for her before pulling away, terrified of his own touch. I wasn't drunk that night, and it wasn't an accident. The world seems to tilt. Evelyn's breath catches as thunder rumbles outside, mirroring the chaos inside her chest. Everything she thought she knew about that night, about him, shatters in an instant. Evelyn Carter built her life around understanding others, listening, healing, repairing broken hearts, yet her own home has become a silent case study in emotional collapse. As a family therapist, she sits daily across from couples on the edge of separation, offering them hope she no longer believes in. Every evening, she returns to a house that feels colder with each passing day. The laughter that once filled it has turned into echoes. She tells herself she stays for closure, for love, for something. But deep down, she knows she stays because she still doesn't understand Daniel's silence. Daniel Carter was once a dreamer, a musician with calloused fingers and a heart full of melodies. But after the night his younger brother Eli died in a car crash, everything inside him went silent. The world blamed him, the courts nearly did, and the town never forgot. Evelyn stood by his side then, defending him when no one else would, believing his version of the tragedy. But over time, his grief hardened into something darker, guilt, secrecy, withdrawal. He quit music, quit trying, and built walls so high even Evelyn couldn't climb them. Clara's presence only deepened the cracks. Once Evelyn's closest friend, she became a constant visitor, always with excuses to check on Daniel, bringing soup, concern, and questions that never felt innocent. Her eyes carried something Evelyn couldn't name, pity or perhaps resentment. The marriage turned into a polite war zone, where love was replaced by routine and silence became their language. Evelyn's therapist told her she was mourning a man who's still alive, and she knew it was true. Still, every time she looked into Daniel's haunted eyes, she felt a truth she hadn't yet uncovered. Evelyn can't shake Daniel's confession. The words, "It wasn't an accident," echo through her every thought, poisoning the air she breathes. One sleepless night, she wanders into Daniel's old music room, a place untouched since Eli's death. Dust coats the instruments, the silence oppressive. As she searches for answers she can't yet name, her hand grazes something beneath a stack of forgotten sheet music, Eli's phone. The screen flickers to life, revealing unsent messages. Her heart races as she reads them. He knows. And I'm telling her tonight. The world tilts again. Who is Eli planning to expose? When Evelyn confronts Daniel, his mask fractures. He collapses into a chair, face buried in trembling hands, and for the first time, she sees a man drowning in something deeper than guilt. "You don't understand what Eli did," he chokes out, his voice raw with pain. She begs him to explain, but he just shakes his head, repeating the words like a mantra. Days later, the police arrive. The case has been reopened after an anonymous tip. Someone else had those same texts. Someone wanted the past unearthed, and Daniel's panic makes it clear he's not ready. Clara's visits turn urgent, her voice sharper, her concern more desperate. "Evelyn, let it go," she insists, eyes darting, smile brittle. But Evelyn feels something shift inside her, the quiet, obedient wife replaced by a woman who's done living in half-truths. That night, with hands steady but heart trembling, she installs a small camera in Daniel's studio. The rain falls outside as she watches the red light blink to life. She doesn't know what she finds, only that the next time Daniel enters that room, the truth will finally begin to show itself. Evelyn sits in the dark, her pulse thundering in her ears as the hidden camera footage plays. Daniel's studio glows faintly on screen, midnight shadows cutting across his face as he whispers with Clara. The tension between them is unmistakable, not friendly, not innocent. Then Clara's voice trembles, sharp with fear. "If she finds out, we're both done." The room around Evelyn blurs. Betrayal settles over her like ice. She watches as Clara's next words strike the final blow. Eli had discovered their affair, planned to tell her, and Daniel chased him that night. The crash wasn't chance. It was desperation. Evelyn's confrontation with Daniel feels like stepping into a storm she's both dreaded and summoned. He falls apart before her, sobbing, guilt spilling from him in broken phrases. "I didn't mean for him to die," he gasps, clutching his chest as if his confession might crush him. Evelyn's fury burns hot, but beneath it is sorrow, a love she can't entirely kill. The man she once defended had become the architect of her heartbreak. She looks at him and sees both victim and villain, and that duality shatters her more than his lies ever could. Clara's mask soon crumbles too, her fear morphing into cruelty. When Evelyn refuses silence, Clara threatens to expose her confidential therapy notes, a desperate move meant to destroy her credibility. It's the final confirmation that both had conspired to bury the truth. But Evelyn, steadier now, begins documenting everything, recording conversations, saving messages, preparing her quiet retribution. The house grows colder each night, their rooms divided by secrets. Daniel's music stops, his sleep haunted by guilt. Evelyn moves to the guest room, their shared life now a ghost wandering through empty halls. The anniversary of Eli's death arrives, draped in gray skies and unspoken dread. Evelyn prepares the house with quiet precision, candles lit, photographs framed, a soft melody playing in the background. Daniel moves like a ghost, his eyes hollow, while Clara lingers near the window, tense and watchful. Eli's mother arrives, her grief still raw, her trust in Daniel fragile but intact. When everyone gathers in the living room, Evelyn announces a short tribute in memory of Eli. The video begins tenderly, childhood laughter, music, and smiles. But beneath Evelyn's calm exterior, a storm brews, waiting for the perfect moment to break. Midway through the montage, the screen flickers and the image shifts. Suddenly, Daniel and Clara appear on screen, caught in the hidden footage. Their voices fill the room. Clara's panicked whisper, "If she finds out, we're both done," followed by Daniel's trembling confession about chasing Eli that night. The air fractures. Eli's mother clutches her chest, eyes wide with horror. Clara bolts from her seat, stumbling toward the door, shame burning across her face. Daniel collapses, sobbing uncontrollably, his guilt laid bare for all to see. Evelyn watches silently, tears streaming, not of grief, but of released doubt as the last words echo, Evelyn turns and walks toward the door. Daniel's voice cracks behind her, desperate, broken. You took everything from me. She pauses, meeting his eyes one final time, her voice steady and cold. No, Daniel. You took it from yourself. The weight of years lifts as she steps outside into the rain. Hours later, police lights flash by the cliff's edge. Daniel's car sits empty, engine still warm. Overlooking the dark drop where Eli once died, the circle of tragedy finally, cruelly complete. Weeks pass like distant tides pulling grief away grain by grain. The police finally locate Daniel, alive, fragile, and checked into a rehabilitation center. He has chosen not to vanish, but to confront the wreckage he created. For the first time, he speaks openly about Eli, the affair, and the guilt that almost consumed him. The world, once his silent judge, now listens as he admits the truth. Evelyn watches from afar, her heart no longer bound by anger. His recovery doesn't erase the past, but it proves something she once stopped believing. Redemption is possible. Even after ruin, Clara's downfall comes quietly but decisively. Evelyn, armed with evidence of her unethical behavior and manipulation, files a report with the counseling board. Clara's license is revoked, her reputation in ruins. There's no satisfaction in watching her fall, only closure. Evelyn finally understands that justice isn't about revenge. It's about boundaries, truth, and courage. With the case behind her, she sells the house that once held both love and lies. The rain-soaked kitchen, the broken music room, all of it becomes a chapter she can finally close without trembling hands. Months later, Evelyn settles in a small coastal town where the air smells of salt and second chances. She opens a new practice focused on trauma recovery, using her story, anonymously, to help others reclaim their power. Writing under a pen name, she publishes essays about forgiveness and moral courage that touch countless lives. One morning, a letter arrives in familiar handwriting. Daniel thanks her, not for mercy, but for forcing him to face himself. As Evelyn reads, tears fall softly, not from heartbreak, but from the peace of finally being free. A year later, the cliffs stand unchanged, jagged, silent witnesses to everything that once broke her. The wind is cool against Evelyn's skin as she walks the familiar path, her footsteps light, steady. She carries a single white rose, its petals trembling in the sea breeze. The world feels different now, softer, quieter, forgiving. The ache that once ruled her chest has become something gentler, a memory rather than a wound. When she reaches the edge, she closes her eyes and breathes deeply, letting the sound of crashing waves drown out every ghost that ever whispered her name. She kneels and places the rose on the earth, the flowers white stark against the gray stone. For Eli, she murmurs, her voice carried by the wind. For the truth, for what I had to lose to find myself. Her reflection shimmers faintly on the water below, a symbol of everything she's endured and become. The ocean stretches endlessly before her, vast and alive, reflecting her own rebirth. This place, once a grave of secrets, now feels like a beginning, the final page of a story written in heartbreak, but ending in grace dot as she turns to leave. Her voice drifts through the air, soft and resolute. Sometimes the hardest love is the one you give yourself, when you finally stop waiting for someone to save you. The camera lingers on her silhouette against the horizon, sunlight breaking through clouds, painting gold across the sea. The wind catches her hair, the waves roar below, and the screen slowly fades to white. The ocean remains, endless, untamed, and free, a quiet echo of Evelyn's new beginning.